Hey guys, Jerry here and welcome back to modded OpenTTD. I'm just having a brief overview of our tracks here, and one thing is painfully obvious. First of all, this is rather nice. We have this little circle thing going on here where people can, or the trains can choose the quickest path as they want to. I believe we do allow stuff to go down here and turn in, so the trains coming from up here and going down here should be turning as along this track here. Provided, of course, that the signals are correct, which I think they are. But I would like to do something similar over here, because we have this huge lake here in the middle, which is basically in the way. So I know for a fact that we have trains coming from here, and they need to go over here. But as it is right now, they need to go through this junction, through this junction, through this junction, and then through this junction, and past all this, and then down here. So if we instead had a system where we could connect the trains up to like maybe something that goes here, crosses over there, so around this lake, and then from here up to here, then the trains would be able to take a much quicker route, and we could spare a lot of traffic on this stretch here. So I believe that will be exactly what's gonna happen in this episode. First of all, we will make a way around this lake here, and then we'll extend it up to here. So let's get right on it. First of all, we need, of course, to decide exactly how to implement each of these, and I believe we want to do it as future-proof as possible. So we want the big ultimate freeway junctions that we've made a couple of times before. So yeah, you get to watch me have even more practice in making those. Yay! So let us clear out some space here, and then we can get started on that right here. We have the side track incoming here, and then we need to start out with bringing in the... Let us just find one we can compare with. This one. We need to do this short stretch here first of all. So that one goes from the outer track to the left track, as we see it. So from here somewhere, let's say here, and then into there. And we need to remove signals. Alright, that's the start. We connect that down there, and then we need to get some tunnels going. So the first tunnel we want to make is... Actually, I made a mistake here. It needs to go into a tunnel here. So we need to get this bit here done next, and then the tunnel. So we remove this again, and this, and then I believe we might actually need to flatten out a bit more land here. Like this. So we take this over there, and then we take this part here. We need to flatten out here as well. Like that. So you can come from here, and then this one of course needs to actually go across and connect to this one, so we need to remove the signals here as well. Get rid of these, that's gonna be fine for now. We don't have that many trains on the track here, we'll have to wait for this guy to pass. Let's see, this track here, yeah, so we want to turn right and left. So you connect there. Then we need to implement a bunch of tunnels. Let's get started with the easy one. This one. That's not easy. I'm being silly here. We need to move it back one block actually. So get this away. Fix that. Fix that. And bring down there. Tunnel. So far so good. Then we have the next headache, which is, as you can see up here, we have this outermost track here. That's gonna be a lot of extra flattening out of terrain, but it's not really a headache, it's just a matter of flattening it out. So get a good part of that, and we can get past there and there, I believe. So you go down there, and once the train's passed we can connect. Beautiful. Now we just need to get rid of these two junctions here, or crossings. and that means removing. That means first of all that we need to connect so that the trains can actually get around while we do this. This is just a temporary measure to make sure that the trains won't end up hating us for not allowing them to go through the junction while reconstructing it. There we go. So we have one tunnel there, and we have one tunnel here. And I actually I don't mind having this stretch of path down here. So I can see this one takes the quick route, or not the quick route, but the rather slow route really. But since we have gotten or finished this track again here, we can remove that. And that means we can put in the path signals, so one there, one there, one there, and one there. And that of course goes to this this whole section again. We need to make sure that we have as many signals as needed to make the whole thing go smoothly. So I believe that should be it. Okay, first junction is done. And I believe it looks rather similar to this one here. Although a bit more stretched out maybe because we have this thing here a bit longer. Yeah. But everything should be there. We have connections there, and there. And of course you have to break down right there. Alright, so far so good. Now, this track here, I kind of want this one here to just continue up because that's gonna look the best. It won't really matter much in the long run which one it is, but I believe it will look best if we have this one running and then we make a branch off to an encounter over here as sort of a shortcut or an alternate way at least. So now we need to find a way to get around this town here, because we can't really just go through it that easily. And also there's a lot of other industries here along the way. But if we just decide that we want the tracks to run right next to this grain thingy here, then we can flatten out the area. I need to zoom in. So we can just flatten through all the way here. I believe there should not be any conflicts with the industries along this path. Nope. And since this one is already elevated, it's going to be a breeze to make a cloverleaf. So I believe that's what we're going to do there. So we can continue the... Whoops. There we go. Continue this all the way up. And then we need to make either destroy the river, but I don't want to do that, so let's just make these little bridges here. It's gonna hurt the speed a wee bit, and later on we might go back and just make bridges, or remove the bridges and just have a normal, or destroy the river, but for now let's keep the river where it is. Alright, so with the cloverleaf, I believe we want to expand or make this one slightly large. So we need to... If we do this, so we have one side of it coming out here, all the way back here, then we can bring it close here, and then we raise the terrain like this. So we bring it up, run it straight for a couple of blocks, and then we tilt it in. I believe that's going to end up being the well, it's not the best junction to make here really, but it's something we can do, and it won't slow down the trains too much because we kind of spread out the curves a bit. Now we just need to make these bubbly things or running around things, so we can... I don't know what I'm saying. We can afford to spend some space on it here, so let us just start mirroring it nicely. And then I guess here we can have the hole coming up the mountain. And then we somehow need to extend this out and extend this out. That's wrong. Whoops. So yeah, we can just have it basically filling up this much, or filling out this much space to give it the to make sure that the whole slowing down aspect of it is minimized as much as possible. So now we just need to get some signals on this baby here. One there, and of course there. And finally there. And then we can just do this. That should put signals all the way down to here where we need to connect these two. So we have the city here in the middle, and we have a nice big space there that we can actually branch out in between, or curve. So it's not really a big deal, and this curve should be gentle enough that trains won't really slow down. So it's really just a matter of putting in the tracks and then connecting them up. And that should leave us with one shortcut done. So basically any train that wants to go from up here and down here, or down here for that matter, can now use this track as a shortcut. However, I believe we still want to do some sort of shortcut over here just to make it so that we can avoid this junction or these double junctions down here. I don't know if that'll be any more efficient, but at the moment we're just really moving traffic from over here to over in here, where it's even more likely to cause a blockage. So let's see, do we have anything using this yet? Nope, we don't. Alright, so let's see if we can somehow make a nice little junction coming out from here. Now, I normally don't like doing these curves here. It's much easier to do like this when you have something that's already or that's something that's straight, and you can just do the cloverleaf or whatnot. So one thing I'm actually considering is whether we should just take this junction here and exploit that. So we take this part here and then connect up. We could either do a couple of bridges across, then have another cloverleaf here, or we could try and optimize this down here a bit. Because at the moment we have the main track coming to this station, whereas we want the main track to be connected here. I believe that might actually be a rather good way to go about it. It's gonna cause a bit of trouble for the trains, because at the moment I don't know actually. They do manage to get through it quite easily, I imagine. Although we need a signal here. That's one thing I could see at least. But yeah, the fruit trains maybe, I don't know, they're coming from here, so they're running a decently fine route. Like those are the ones I could imagine would benefit from having a way across here somehow. And the trains coming from up here, the ones delivering farm supplies, would benefit vastly as well. But it would appear that we have somehow managed to make another blockage, which is not something I'm proud of. So we really need to find some way to prevent that from happening here. Like, why do you... Come on. Like, it's really annoying that... Okay, so I need to focus on... Basically, there are some other signals here. Combo signal, both entry and exit. And then there's this one, which is an exit signal. And then we have the entry signals here. So basically, I'm thinking that if we remove the signal here, and then put an entry signal, and then we remove all of these, and then put the exit signal. So basically, this one, as I said, it behaves the same way as a block signal, but it's necessary to trigger the correct color on entry and combo pre-signals. So we have the pre-signal here saying, okay, if any of these are green, then you can go in. And it's of course saying that if we have any signal here that you can come out of, then so I'm guessing if we remove the signal as well and then use the entry signal, then these should work together perfectly. Now we just need a delivery of chemicals here, and I'm wondering why that is not happening. Do we have any trouble up here? Nope, no trains at all. And what are you carrying? You are carrying food from the sugar refinery. Yeah, of course. Now, all the oil here is just not being pumped up quick enough because we have a lack of engineering supplies. So because we're not making enough engineering supplies, we're not getting enough oil to make enough engineering supplies. Am I right? What's that? Yeah, that's what's happening. So that is just brilliant. And of course, if we end up having a queue of trains here that goes all the way back here, then we can't deliver oil, so that's just beautiful. Hopefully that won't happen. So when do we get some engineering supplies delivered here? That's the question. Now, the train's coming here. We only have this little guy. And we are basically not producing anything, so they're not transporting anything. But this little guy here is all that's delivering engineering supplies, supposedly. All the rest are farm supplies, so we should really have a large overproduction of engineering supplies. But then again, he does have a shorter route to travel. I'm wondering where the these chemical trains here. Where are you going? Actually, it's a petrol train we need. So the petrol train, where is that? Was the petrol train supposed to be going here, and you're broken down here? How the hell did you go down there? Like, you're supposed to be up here, getting full load, and then you're supposed to travel down here. And then, of course, if you tried to service in any of these depots, then you would have ended up in trouble. We need to move these depots. And that means, of course, making a side track here. We can do that rather easily. Path signals, entry, exit, and before the depot. And then we put in the depots here, one right there and one right there, and remove these. Then we can bump the hell out of these guys, remove the tracks leading to them, and then we'll see. Like, we have a chemical train up there picking up stuff now, but I don't know how the hell that guy got down here. Like, that's really, really, really strange. Ah well. While this hopefully sorts itself out, like, we really need that petrol train to come up here and pick up some stuff, because we do have petrol up here waiting. A lot of it, actually. So while that's happening, let's have a look and see what kind of factories and other stuff that we're passing by here. We have a plastics plant. Then we have a hotel, of course. We have another dairy farm, which we could connect up to our food supply. We have an aluminium plant, which might be worth pursuing, because then we can deliver the metal up here and then get even more farm supplies. Over here we have, what, metal workshop. Okay, so you could do a local system here, but that's not nearly as reliable. Brickworks for building materials. More farms. Down here we have the grain mill. Another hotel. I'm just wondering, because you could technically just hook up two hotels to each other. But that's, yeah, wouldn't be too interesting. How are we actually doing on the passenger? We are not doing well. We have lots of mail being delivered, but not enough passengers by far. It seems that the trains load quickly enough. So if we take one of these trains here, which has only passengers. I'm using the wrong depot, aren't I? Yeah. So if we use this train who has just passengers, then we can get a bit more of that eaten up. Like over here we're still... Yeah, we're actually worse on passengers up here because this town has grown a lot. And we have the hotel as well, amplifying it. So getting an extra train in here is going to be decent enough. We have a bunch of goods being delivered right now. Always nice. But yeah, I think if we expand upon this bypass here a bit, then we can end up saving a bunch of time on a lot of trains. I still believe that I should probably find a way to either rework this junction here or incorporate it into something that goes across. I believe that would be in everyone's best interest. Maybe we could like do a series of small islands here and then bridges across just to kind of keep it straight. And then have another cloverleaf over here that would allow trains to skip past some of this if they don't have to go into this specific section. Because I do believe we have quite heavy traffic right here. So if we could clear out some of that, that would be pretty good. We actually have two aluminium plants here. And dredging side, which... What did they... Sand and stone. Okay, so not that useful. But yeah, hopefully we'll have trains returning to this station now that the blockage issue has been somewhat solved. We just need some petrol to come in, and I think this is the train. No, it's not. This train goes the wrong way. So it's this train here, which is just being loaded up now. You know what? You share orders with that one. We really, like, until we can deliver all the goods we need to the city down here, it doesn't make sense to waste our petrol on it, when we can use it to make more petrol in the end. So I've directed all the petrol trains we have now to go down here instead and deliver. So hopefully some of these guys can get cleared out soon enough, and then we'll be on our merry way with increased production, because I believe that we're gonna, if we don't get more petrol down there, we're gonna have a lot of systems clogging up. Like, that's one of the big things to consider when you're playing FIRS, is that you really don't want stuff to be... If you have a setup that depends on a certain material being delivered, then you don't want that blocking up. So yeah, I believe if this up here, the entry and exit signals look to be working pretty well. So I believe I'll expand this concept to other stations in the future, because yeah, that's kind of what the signals are supposed to do. So might as well let them do that job. And then, yeah, let's see, do we have... Where are you? Okay. You're really slow at accelerating. Is it really that heavy? I mean, it's a big load, of course, but it's the strongest engine we have. Or maybe he was broken down. Almost must have been, yeah. Ah, new train. Alright, there we go. Now these guys should get loaded up nicely. Yeah, beautiful. So once you're done... Oh, come on. Okay, so we have the engineering supplies here headed off. Every train on this system is breaking down. Can you... Yeah, I managed to do it. Okay, service in there. Everything's just breaking down. But yeah, you're going over here to deliver the engineering supplies to the oil well, which will then increase the production, putting it out to gung-ho and allowing these trains to fill up so we can get more oil, so we can get more engineering supplies and more farm supplies, of course, and then the whole thing continues. So yeah, we have set up quite a bit of a complex system here. It's only gonna get worse, so anything we can do like this bypass here to increase the efficiency and maybe make it slightly more smooth for the trains coming and going is only gonna be a good thing. So until next time, I'm Jerry and this has been Modded OpenTTD. Bye!